Sponsored by Kill Strike.
We're good.
Oh, okay, we're good. We're live.
Hey,
Jesus
welcome
is king.
everybody. Welcome everybody. This is the Ryan Crump Show. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Rod.
Hey,
I'm Nick.
we got
What's
a
going
great
on?
guest here. Hey, this is my boy Nick Vassallo down here. Hey, known this man for a long time. Real motivator. Really helped me through. Outside of my boy Rod, he really helped me through those years in active duty. We're gonna talk a little bit about his life, what motivated him to want better out of his life, and just some tips. You know, he can give people on how to be great, because this man, he's a great dude. This is a great dude. This is. I love this. I love this guy right here.
Average.
He's a great guy. He's above average. Don't listen to him. He being humble. So, hey man, we're gonna just start off, man. Like, yo, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your upbringing. You know, go ahead.
Yeah. When did we meet, Sean? What year?
What year was it? 2012, 13?
This guy knows the exact fucking year, the exact day.
It's like those people, right? It's those people that have like, they like remember numbers, like these crazy like math
that's
numbers.
you, bro.
Like,
that's you.
That's me with years.
I don't remember any of it. I couldn't even tell you. Was I like 18 when we met? Was I 18?
You're like 18, 19? Yeah.
I was hanging out with a few people. I guess we had mutual friends.
Yeah.
Don't need to.
You
Name drop anybody.
We know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you can move right on to the next subject. But yeah, I think I met you with my boy Drew, and so that was a mutual friend for sure.
Yeah,
it was a good time. I was fat as hell, right? I was young. I was probably like 250, 260 at that point. You saw me at my biggest weight.
You're a big dude.
But yeah, like we met when I was 18, which was pretty rough for me. I left home at 17.
Mm-hmm.
I packed a bag and dipped out of there. It was a fucking disaster. And being a young man in the world trying to figure it out on your own is a very challenging thing to do, bro. Like, I had no direction. I got kicked out of high school. I left home at 17. I didn't have a car. I was 250 pounds, 260 pounds. I'm 5'8", so I'm a meatball. I was working at Wawa. I was a shift manager, and I thought that was my future. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna grind at Wawa and make it to GM and make $100,000 a year. Thank God that fell through.
Right.
And it's all part of God's plan too. So it's funny that I say that, but I don't know. So the short of it is, a couple months after getting kicked out of high school, I went back, got my GED, which was probably the easiest test I've ever taken. The GED is like a no-brainer. It was like, it was asking me questions like, if recycling day is on Monday, the first Monday of the month, when is it the following month? And it's like the first Monday. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
So that was like I crushed that exam, got the certificate. Not that it's helped me, not that it's hindered me, but just to have it, just to say I graduated high school. And then I went through a bunch of shit. I mean, you saw kind of like the whole transition. Like, you met me when I was kind of overweight and we were partying a lot, which was a huge thing for us back in the day. And then I started to the gym, lost like 75 pounds, started lifting weights, got really yoked, got really jacked, bigger than I am now, much bigger than I am now. And then along with that comes confidence, right? Because you're in the gym, you're healthy, you're fit. So now you're getting a little bit more confident. You start to meet people, make connections. And I wound up meeting this one girl in the gym, just became casual friends with her. And she suggested an opportunity for me, an employment opportunity. And she said, I have a really good job for you. You might be interested in, and you fit the role perfectly. And I was like, obviously, yeah. What is it? What's up? Working at the nightclub in AC.
Oh yeah.
So Rod, for 2 years, I was a night promoter, like a nightlife ambassador at the biggest nightclub in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's called the Pool After Dark. It's a massive nightclub. It's like a big glass dome. There's palm trees. There's a pool in the middle of the club. So it's really dope. So I went down there on like a Wednesday night, interviewed, got the job. And then I started working there. I was doing that for like 2 years, but on the side, I was like a groundskeeper. I was like maintenance for a school district. So I was like cutting grass, weed whacking, whatever the fuck.
I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Painting athletic fields, lining football fields, and it was fun. Like, I enjoyed. Like, it was fun. I was 20. I didn't care. And then, but I was a club promoter in Atlantic City on the weekends. So I was cutting grass during the week, and then I was partying every weekend. I was getting paid for it, which was dope. And then also on Saturdays, before I went to AC, I was also a pizza delivery guy. So I had 3 jobs for a long period of time. I would say like a year and a half, 2 years. And then some shit went wrong. Not to get too deep into it now on this podcast, but I wound up parting ways with the nightclub. Thank God again that happened, because that's like a slippery slope, bro. Like if you stay in the nightlife for too long, you get caught up. I mean, we were partying like we were putting down bottles every weekend. I don't even drink at all. Like I've had 6 drinks this year. Like I don't drink at all. It's polar opposite. But I mean, we were partying with Pauly D. We were playing craps with 2 Chainz. I was hanging out with Black China, Paris Hilton, whoever the fuck was just down in AC, dude. You just became familiar with everybody.
Yeah.
And, people getting, in drugs and all that. And I didn't really get involved with all that, but we were drinking pretty heavily. So that ended. I quit that job. I quit the landscaping job, the groundskeeper job. And then I got into sales. And so that was the door-to-door sales. And I don't know if you remember that at all. I don't know if I told you.
No, I don't remember. I think I was in the Army.
Yeah, you were gone.
Yeah.
We were still talking here and there. Like we weren't, it was sporadic. Like it was,
I didn't know what you were doing, like work-wise. I knew you were doing the Pull Out the Dark thing. I didn't know like after that, bro.
Yeah, so then I was like, all right, I got to change my life. Like I need to do something that's motivating. I wanted to work in the city. I wanted to like work in Philadelphia and be in sales. So I went and did the sales interview, and these motherfuckers tricked me. Bro, but I was like poor, hungry, and determined. They labeled me a PhD, poor, hungry, determined.
Bro, I don't even mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I did a door-to-door job. Yeah, they got me too. And it was back like, here, I'm gonna do the date thing. Back in 2013, bro. I remember I was trying to get out of Wawa. I was done with Wawa. I was done. And I was like, well, I want an office job. Like I want to dress up because I like dressing up. And I was Googling shit and I forgot which site I went on, but it was something called, what was account executive. And I'm like, oh shit.
Account manager.
Yeah, account manager. I'm like, all right, cool.
Shut the fuck up.
Office
You
job.
had me knocking on doors in blizzards, dude. Bro. I was selling fucking electric. I was selling Verizon, electric, and security. I was selling Verizon too. I was the best in the company. I won all the competitions. I was making a bunch of money, dude. But I was dumb and young and reckless. I didn't care. And we were just like, you just go hard. We didn't sleep. Bro, I met so many people there. My boy Corey, Steve, Andres. I'm still friends with these guys to this day. Like good guys. But that takes a different mentality. I did it for a year, bro. That takes a different mentality.
Look, you will make some money.
Yeah.
It's not that aspect's not a scam.
You write your own check.
Yeah, you will make some money. Because I remember I made like 2 selling Verizon files. And I'm like, I look at my check, I'm like $800. Like
for just 2, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, you will make some money, but how they get you in is kind of shady.
It's like a management development. It's like, no, it's not fucking management development. It's a pyramid scheme. You're just monopolizing it's an ever revolving door. People are getting fired. They're coming in. I'm interviewing people for this bullshit ass job, not trying to tell them it's door to door. Right. And I built a solid team. I had like 12 people. My boy Corey had like 12 people. So we were good at manipulating people, which is fucked up to say. But then once they were in, we were good at keeping them hyped, keeping them motivated. They were seeing the money we were making. So they were like, yeah, we can do it too. We kept it super simple. But that's not the reality. Like most people aren't the way that me, Corey, Steve, Andres, these guys that Matt, these guys that I all worked with, we're just anomalies. Like that's not the average person. Like the average person stayed for 2 weeks and quit. Like they couldn't want to walk around for 8 hours a day in the snowstorms. We had heated jackets on, bro. I'm out there in blizzards, fucking selling whatever, and I was doing it. And people were letting me in their house. I was like, this is just so fucking strange. But we're crushing it, and I had nothing else to do. So I literally almost on the dot a year lasted at that job. And I was sick of it. I was burnt out, bro. I moved to Maryland for a little bit. I had a lease in Maryland for 6 months.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was all over, bro. I helped opened another office. I was dating this girl. I was building a team in Maryland, which I met my buddy Xavier, which he's also in the Air Force. He's a really solid guy. Still friends with him to this day. But so anyway, I had that lease. We were living in the hood. I was 10 minutes from the stadium. I don't know if you're familiar with Baltimore at all.
Yeah,
super hood.
Yeah, I know where you're at. I was in Baltimore 2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So dropped that lease. I was dating a girl at the job, broke up with her. Literally the day I quit, I signed up for real estate school. So I bought it was a discount. It was on Groupon. So you buy a real estate class. It was half off. So I bought that. I was like, fuck, I can sell And I know if you sell houses, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
I'm just a dumb kid trying to figure it out. Like, I had
you
a car.
figure it out.
You just get like from one lily pad to the next lily pad. You're just like a frog just trying to figure it out. That's like that's life, bro. So we quit, got into real estate school. Now I quit because I didn't have any income. So I was in real estate school learning something brand new while also went and got a job at a restaurant that same day. I interviewed, they hired me. I was a server at Olive Garden. I don't know, Rod, do you know what Olive Garden is at all? It's like an Italian spot. I don't know if you have that there.
It's not really Italian, so I mean it's not really Italian.
I live in the United States of America, all right? We got
fake Italian. Oh, okay. I'm out there on a fucking island. I'm like, because so yeah, I was like, so learning how to serve, learning a menu, learning how to be a server, something I've never done before, while also learning real estate in like the same. So it was 2-week crash course. I had to train for both. So we were going 9 to 5 p.m. real estate school. And then getting off at 5, driving 45 minutes to the restaurant, and from 6 to 10, learning how to be a server every day for 2 weeks. Got done with real estate school, crushed the exam, got the state exam, got like my official certificate. And then you're supposed to turn that in and pay some fees and then become a licensed realtor. And I never did that because I didn't have the money. It costs like a couple grand just to get started. You have to like pay real estate association fees and shit like that. And I didn't have the money. And then what everyone wants to be a fucking realtor, but you don't realize you have to wait 3, 6, 9 months before you sell your first house. So, not making money that entire time.
That's crazy.
And I didn't have a choice. We had an apartment. I was with this girl at the time. We had an apartment, so we still had to pay for that. And we're making like quick cash. Like, we just needed something quick. We just quit our job, had no direction, and so that didn't go through, right? So I never became a realtor. Also, backtrack. I took the civil service exam. Never became a police officer. Past that, they offered me a job.
CO. Yep, I know.
Yeah, I was going to be in Burlington Township, actually, police department, PD.
Okay.
And never went through with that. Applied for the military, passed the ASVAB with like a 73 or something.
Yeah.
Never went through to the military. So
I remember you were talking about the Navy.
Yeah, the Navy. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
And then it couldn't be the Navy because you needed like some college credits or something. Yeah. Along with the GED. I had a GED, so the GED was kind of fucking me. And so I was like, all right, well, let me
Navy too. Just
what was it?
You gotta be gay to join the Navy too.
Oh, okay. And then that was a prerequisite I wasn't willing to fulfill.
This guy.
So that didn't work out. So the civil service, the police department, the military, an AC, realtor, like all these things didn't really work out. And it's all funny because like, now that I'm 29 years old, I realize like all of that happened for a reason.
Right.
So fast forward. Working at the restaurant for like 6 months. Working at a restaurant is the fucking lowest of the earth job. Wow. Like next to like cleaning toilets, bro.
Damn, really?
The people that you work with in a restaurant setting, them servers are just some of the scummiest fucking people I've ever met in my entire life.
Wow. That's
dirty,
crazy.
Disrespectful, like just ghetto, like just like no professional, zero professionalism. I was like, this place is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
You got a couple arguments. Huh?
People having sex in the back of the restaurant.
Not that I was aware of.
Yeah, Dick was like, hey, he saw he did one of these. He's like,
Not that I was aware of.
Wait a minute.
He about to tell the story.
Olive Garden, though.
That's why it tastes so good.
Stop.
But no, I got like a fucking argument with this one kid, and like he pushed me, and I would have wrecked him. So I just like let him. I was like, it's all good, dude. Like, you're upset. I get it. Right. And then I got another argument. I was like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm not. This job is not. This is below me. But before I left, I had started working at the gym. So I think you knew that I worked at the gym.
Yeah.
So then I was still doing sales. I was a sales, like membership sales guy. And I walked in there with a fucking suit and tie on, and I was like, yeah, I'm looking for a job. Like, they were like, okay, you're hired. Like, no problem. Boom. Started the next day. Crushed it at the gym, became like number one. I won a bunch of same thing, won a bunch of competitions, was like the best in the whatever, won all these accolades, whatever the fuck, and then quit the server job. And the reason that I joined the gym, bro, is because I was going through like one of not the darkest, but I would say the second darkest point in my life, like the second darkest time of my life. And I knew that I needed to do something for my mental health, like my mental well-being. And I said, I hate my job now. I don't make money. I was living back at home, sleeping on a couch. You know, I was like, I don't make any money. I need to do something that's at least going to make me happy if I'm not going to make money. I love working out, and I'm good at sales. I need to go get a job at a gym.
Right.
That's why I ended up at the gym. And if I didn't end up at the gym, bro, I wouldn't be where I am right now today. That's how everything all kind of came together. Yeah, it's crazy. So I go work at the gym, work my way up. COVID hits. COVID fucked us all up.
I was chilling. I was on vacation.
I mean, I was making more money at home.
I'm telling y'all couldn't do nothing. Y'all were mad at me when y'all saw my Snapchat.
Where were you at? You were in Korea?
I was in Korea then. And they had locked us down, right? And
Piece
but they were like, you can't go off post for a couple months, but you can like do whatever you want on post. So we're like, all right, cool. Yeah. They didn't shut down liquor stores.
Yeah, you guys were just partying.
I don't know. We were on Snapchat then, right?
Balls deep in the locals, weren't you, Crumb? Don't lie.
What'd you say?
Balls deep in the locals, weren't you, Crumb?
No. I'm good. Nah, I'm good on that. But I had a good time, man.
We're gonna see watch in a couple of years. This podcast gets bigger. We're gonna see some unknown pictures of Crump surface from his time in Korea.
Some like mixed Asian black kids are gonna show up at the
hey, Dad. And child support money.
Hey, I'm good. Hey, like I said, like I ain't gonna go there. I got my preferences. All right, I'm not.
This is a recorded line.
Right. No, man. That that was a good time when I was in Korea. That was a good time. I mean, no disrespect to anybody. I knew people that lost family members. I knew some people that passed away too. So not to being sensitive to that, but for me, COVID was like I was getting my check every 2 months, every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Didn't have to really go to work.
Yeah.
I was paying me to just party, so why not?
Yeah. Rob, what were you doing during COVID? Where were you at?
During COVID, I actually took a little break from service. I got out for a little bit, and I was in corrections for a short period of time before I went back in. And I wasn't really chilling for long, but I did towards the end. I got to chill a little bit.
So you were working. You corrections, like you were a corrections officer working during COVID?
Yeah, I was working during COVID, but luckily during my last because I was there for maybe like 7-8 months, and during my last 2 months there, I was getting COVID tested like every other week. I was like, yeah, I don't feel good today. I got a cough and the sniffles. Like, yeah, you need to stay home. And I was getting paid to stay home.
Right.
Getting these COVID tests, waiting on the results for like 2-3 weeks at a time. Yeah. They were so backed up.
You and the rest of America, we were all just hanging out. And the Fed Reserve was just printing fucking money.
It's either this.
All right, don't get me started on that.
I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this for a little bit, and then I went back into the Army during the whole COVID thing, and things were going a little bit wild there, and I was just like, not really chill. I wasn't really chilling there.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no chill. I don't know what this man was doing over here. So I'm chilling in Korea. I wasn't chilling. I was camping in the motherfucking 10-degree weather in tents, bro.
I was chilling. Like they didn't want us to do anything. So we just stayed on post. We played. I was on part of the softball league.
This guy was on a fucking extended stay. This guy was on vacation for 3
years. Right. I was enjoying it. And then
he was on vacation for 3 years.
Hey, and then
we're going to the field on Friday. We'll be back the week after that, about 6 days into the field. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and camp with our buddies, and all of our equipment's gonna break down, and we ain't gonna do shit the rest of the time besides stay there per the commander.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That was your life. That's terrible.
That was my life too. At certain points in my military.
Yeah, and you know what? Like
12 November.
And I do respect the military. Like I respect both of you guys. Thank you for your service. I've said that to you, Sean.
Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate for the military just in general, but I'm not an advocate for being told what to do and like having to I don't agree with the government most of the time. I would say all the time. And you guys have to just kind of, be where I say. Hurry up and wait, I know is the motto for the Army.
Oh yeah.
Do what I say, and it would have never worked for me.
Bro, that shit. If I had done that, I used to tell guys because I got in when I was 26.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit older, and my ex, she was pregnant with my first son. So I was like, man, look, I was on the same wave you were in, bro. Like I don't like being told to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like my life to be micromanaged, which that's what they do in the military, even when you're not on duty. Or really, they tell you really never off duty. You're a soldier 24/7.
Oh, right.
But it was just like, I had to do it for my kids. Like 2013, I was thinking about going to Air Force. Mm-hmm. I remember beginning of 2015, I tried to get in the Air Force. and they were like, nah, you didn't score high enough on ASVAB for us, so just come back in August. I was like, all right, I'm about to get my job back at Wawa anyway.
Are you ready for this?
See you in August. At that time, I didn't have any kids. It was just me. Back in 2013, it was just me. So, I didn't have that push. So when I joined the military, I was like, hey, I don't like being yelled at, don't like being told to do, but I got to push that aside to take care of my kids and then my stepdaughters.
Yeah, you had a different motive at that point.
Yeah, so but after a while, that stuff got overwhelming, bro. I remember, I think we touched a little bit on it.
We talked a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I was
excited at first, and then it kind of fell off. You were like, I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah, and I was depressed, and then me, my marriage, I ain't gonna get into it on the podcast, but then me and my marriage fell apart. He knew a little bit about that, Rod, because he was.
I think Rod fell asleep. Rod, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on here? You looking?
What the fuck is Rod doing?
I'm being a soldier 24/7. You feel me?
You look like the dollar store brand of RoboCop right now.
Oh,
honestly, I feel safe. I feel safe now that he's got the fucking hat.
Like a sergeant, to be honest.
Oh, that's what they do with their campaign hat. Hey, with their campaign hat.
You got the look. How low does the hat need to go to make you like the lower it is, the higher level?
No, we don't gotta wear. It's like, when the drill sergeants wear their campaign hat, it had to be all down like this. Like
Specialist Crook, where you going?
I'd have been like, how can you see where I'm going? That's what I would have said. I would have fucking had to do 100 push-ups.
Yeah,
like a mile.
But like, you know what? Like,
now see,
the military, like, it's rough, bro. It's rough, but it's easy once you get through that. It's kind of easy. And for me, I just never
just kind of coast unless shit pops off. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I don't regret it. Like, I didn't want to do active duty. Mm-hmm. I always wanted to do reserve. When I was thinking about going to the Air Force, like back 10 years ago, I was like, I just want to do reserves. Mm-hmm. My boy, he gave me the idea to go in the Air Force because he was a postal worker in our area in Edgewater.
I think you told me that.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do what he did. Join the Air Force. That gives you a leg up, which it does. Military, whether active or reserves, it gives you a leg up when you want to get a federal job, a civilian federal job. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do that and whatnot. But like I said, I just didn't have that motivation back then to do it. But I always said, if I do go get serious with it, I'm gonna do reserves. Mm-hmm. But again, when my ex got pregnant, I was like, hey, I gotta do active duty. So, but it's rough, man. Like our first podcast, we're talking to a guy who served in, like, I was telling him, like, bro, a lot of that stuff, I don't sleep. I do not sleep more than maybe 6 hours, between 3 to 6 hours a night. And then it's not consecutively either. It's chopped up.
Even you, Ron? Same thing.
Oh, yeah, we were.
Why do you think that is?
Bro,
because you weren't allowed to sleep that long? Is that what you just like
wake
up in like shock?
I'll let Rod talk a little bit after this, but they will wake you up for the smallest thing. And I don't mean waking you up like, hey Nick, can you get up for me, please? It's like, no, they're on a loudspeaker or walking around the barracks.
Walking with the fuck up.
Let's go. Because somebody left their weapon unsecured, or somebody wasn't at their post. It's an hour shift and they weren't at their post. You know what I mean? So they're waking everybody up and you're going outside.
It's a double-edged sword because like it fucks you up psychologically when you're not in it anymore. Yes, but like you have to do that because like it's the military, bro. You're defending our country. Right. So like I get it. Like, but it doesn't work for everybody. But it doesn't make it right. But it's fuck. If you're defending our country, I need you to be that sharp. You know what I mean? Right. I need you to be able to not fucking leave your weapon out. Like that's, come on, be responsible. We're all team. And if somebody fucks up, well, then we all have to take the fall. Because that's how serious it is. It's got to be that way.
No, it is. Like,
I get it, but
during the moment, you're just like, bro, really? Like, come on. You just grew him. Like, I'm doing my job. Like, but so
now it affects you guys. You can't sleep that well.
So what I told the guy, and Rod, man, you probably agree with this. When we're in basic training, right? I remember there was people that was like talking about killing themselves. They weren't really gonna kill themselves. They just want to get out. And they were like talking. They were even saying, "Hey, this ain't for me. Like, yeah, I'm done with this. Like, I don't want to do this." Like, they purposely failed PT tests to get out, fake injuries just to get out. Okay. And one thing that I realized is that they realized that they were broke or they were getting broke. We made fun of people like that, but you know what? We didn't realize we were getting broke. We all got broke. They just realized it, and we didn't. And that's the crazy thing about it. I don't know if you agree with that, Rod.
What do you mean broke? Physically or
They were break because
financially?
the basic training.
Oh, okay.
They mentally break you, like the waking up at night, the screaming at you,
Yeah.
to not give you a lot of sleep.
Psychological, bro.
It's to break you to build you back up. Those people knew they were getting broke, and they were like, "Nah, I'm good with this. Send me back home."
Or they only had such like a smaller tolerance than you did.
Or that, yeah, because it wasn't all that. Yeah, there's some people that had small tolerance.
They were just like, you know what? Nah, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to.
There was a lot of people like that.
You guys were more patient because you know.
But I mean patient, but I still think that a lot of them who did say, "Hey, I don't want to do this," they realized that they were getting mentally broken. They couldn't handle it.
But let me ask you this: you know that for a fact you were going to do active duty because you had kids. You had a motive. You had a why. Yeah. So you were gonna do it regardless. Like in your mind, this was like this is what I'm doing. Period. So it didn't matter how it was or how you felt. You were gonna get up and do it every day, which is just discipline. Just discipline for doing the right thing. Rod, what was your purpose? Like why did you want to get, like, did you have kids? Do you have kids, or what was your motivation?
At the time, my wife was pregnant with my first child. My main motivation was that I was kind of like you, man. Like I was just, I got moved out at 17.
Mm-hmm.
I got married, moved out at 17, had nowhere to really go. My dad just kind of packed up, went to a friend's house, and he was like, "Hey, figure it out." My mom didn't have her own spot, and I was like, "All right, fuck me, cool." So I went and got a fake ID, got a job at Denny's, and just worked. I worked some pretty shitty jobs, security jobs, sales jobs, telemarketing, making these cold calling people all the time, promoting nightclubs. I did that for a small little bit, selling free nightclub passes for like $100 a pop to drunk ass white people on the strip because they believed it was going to get them into a nightclub.
Oh, you were scheming.
Yeah, scam artist. Right?
Scheming. That shit on the floor. I found.
But you know what? You had to, bro.
In alleyways, bro.
Yeah.
A dozen sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, come on, man, bro. I was just telling it to everybody, bro. And then my wife got pregnant with our first child, and then I was like, I got to do something better because this is not.
How old were you when she got pregnant?
I was 24. Yeah, 24.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like 19. I was in a different timeline. Okay.
No, a little bit older than that. I was 24, and then I was like, I gotta do something with my life. So I was like, you know what? Boom, the Army. And I was like, this is gonna suck, but I did it. I enlisted, and it sucked, bro. When they say embrace the suck, you embrace the suck. Like when I first got off the bus to basic training, like I got off the airplane, we all lined up in formation. We learned what formation was. They were super serious. We got on the bus and we got off at Fort Jackson. And from that moment, they were like, "You are not going to sleep." I was like, "Yeah, that's bullshit, whatever." Wow. As soon as I got off the bus, my first time taking a nap was 36 hours later.
Wow.
And that was a 5-minute nap. And they were like, "Wake the fuck up. It's time to wake the fuck up." All in your ears with loudspeakers and shit. They made one dude go deaf. They popped his eardrum doing that shit.
Wow.
I was like, wow, okay.
That's exhausting, bro. That's exhausting, and that's how it starts.
It was bad.
I mean, I could do it, but I don't want. I have no desire to do that.
No, like, bro,
but it's stressful. I'll tell you, I'm not gonna lie. It changed my life for the better. It really did.
It's worth it for like definitely the right people. Like you were in a situation where you needed to. You were kind of lost. You were 24. You didn't really have a direction. Your wife was pregnant. You needed to do that, and that worked out perfectly for you. Yeah, and I completely agree with you, but I don't think it's meant. I don't think it's good for.
No, it's not meant for everybody. Nope.
No.
No. I'm in the reserves.
The only problem that I have with it is that it puts you in a box. Like now, this is just you. This is just you don't get to think for yourself. You don't get to go be independent. You're always listening to somebody taking instruction. You're working for you're a robot. You know.
I think it works good for people who are. Who kind of it's not easy.
Need.
But they need somebody to kind of like
need the structure.
Yeah, okay.
That's my brother saying he needs the structure. That's excellent for him. He's super smart, and now he has someone to tell him what to do every day.
Right.
What time to wake up.
The Air Force, man, they're like, let me tell you. So like, the Marines is kind of like it's kind of like the Motel 6 of the military, right? Then you got
the bottom of the barrel, bro. They're bottom of the barrel.
I know.
Army's like the best Western. It's like a little bit of a step up, but it's still got a bunch of shit going on there. Then you got the Air Force. The Air Force is like the Ritz-Carlton of the military, man.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
Like I got a friend who's in the Air Force. Every time he goes to the field, they stay at the Holiday Inn, continental breakfast. They get shuttles to and from the field. And we're over here in the Army. We're getting MREs and sleeping in the tent and getting told to go fuck ourselves.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, this
That's
sucks.
terrible.
I mean, but you have to see with that though.
But you know why they do that.
Well,
you know why? Yeah, you know why there's a structure like that. It's because they deem these people more intelligent in the Air Force because they place higher on the ASVAB or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, but what
He's not wrong.
Is that
or they have accolades or they have degrees or whatever the fuck they have.
Well, that's because you also have to look like each branch has a different purpose. Obviously, it's not just like all right, it's not like like those cartoons and TV shows where you see the jets and the soldiers on the ground and the ships. No. Like we're not all doing the same thing at the same time. Like the Air Force is more technical. So you got your jet fighters, but there's a whole bunch of there's a different part of Air Force that is just completely technical. And like they're not going to be on the front lines doing that nitty gritty hard work. The Army and the Marine Corps, we're like the tip of the spear. Now, if you talk to the Marines, they think they're the tip of the spear, whatever.
Probably,
but yeah,
first, right?
But
the back
the Army and the Marine Corps, we're like that.
What?
Spear. We're going
back and forth battle, between the Marines and the Army.
I don't know.
But yeah, man, like the stuff was rough. Like it really, I will say, it did mess me up a little bit. Because it was an internal battle. I don't want to do this, but I have to do this because I have kids. I saw people who just gave up, but I'm like, I didn't want to give up, but it's just like I couldn't wait till my contract ended, my first one. Because I was just like, all right, I just want to get out. I want to have my freedom back. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it and why I want to do it. I don't have to explain it to nobody. You know what I mean? So it was just like I was itching for that, but it messes you up. It's like having your brain scrambled, bro. Like. It is like, and then you deal with toxic leadership. You deal with people who
a lot of that.
Yeah, I dealt with somebody. So this is a good, crazy story. I remember there was a car accident, Rod, by where we did PT at. When you would go up that hill, I forgot what that road was called. And then if you took the left at the intersection, you would go to near where the aid station was at.
Yeah.
All right, and then there would be a battalion, and then there'd be 104. Well, right by that intersection, there was a bad accident. So they were diverting everybody. It was like, bro, I used to get there around like 5:45.
Yeah.
And I got there around 5:40 on post. I remember it was mad early. I got there. And they were diverting everybody to the same side street. So I just backed up. I didn't get there. It took me almost an hour to get less than a mile. When I got there, my squad leader was, I ain't gonna name his name, but he was like, why are you late? I'm like in my brain, I was like, hey, sorry, because it was an accident. In my brain, I'm like, you don't see those flashing lights and all those other cars, going that line of cars going in the direction.
That dude was a dick.
You know what I'm talking about? His short ass, short black ass. But anyway, yeah, I said that. Yeah, I don't care. But yeah, so I was just like,
Howard.
I was like, no, it wasn't him. No, it wasn't him.
Don't lie.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't him.
I know who it was. I know I know. Yeah, I get it.
But anyway, like, so yeah, like, I'm like, sorry, like, there was an accident. That's why I was late.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to write you up. I'm like, why are we writing me up for what? I couldn't help that. Like, he said, well, so they wrote me up, and I'm like, all right, so I requested to have a meeting with my team leader and my squad leader. And my team leader, he was a bag of rocks. So like we're all like talking, and I'm like, sorry, like there was a car accident which caused me to be late. I was not late on my own. The accident made me late. Mm-hmm. You know what this guy said, and this is the mind fuck of it. He said, well, next time you need to leave earlier. How the fuck am I supposed to know if there's a car accident or not? Mm-hmm. I used to leave, bro.
And then you go down a slippery slope of how fucking early am I supposed to leave?
Yeah.
An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Why don't I just fucking sleep over?
Right. And I didn't live that far. I shouldn't.
I would have told him to go fuck himself.
I wish I could have. And then, all right, here's another story, real quick. This is another
grown ass man. You're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna do.
So there was a when I went back to El Paso in February, right? Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be doing layouts, which is basically laying out your gear, getting accountability of it. So I came in late, and I told my platoon sergeant, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm coming in late. My flight was delayed. I'm coming in around like 11. All my gear is in a storage unit in El Paso. And I told him I'm not going to be able to drive all the way halfway across the city to get my stuff. And even if I could, the gates are closed at that time.
I remember that day. You told me that.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, and I'm not gonna be able to make it because I don't have a ride. I just don't have a ride to formation. I'll be able to make it at 9, but at 5 I can't make it because my boy had something to do with his family early in the morning. So he calls me up. Like I left him a text, and then like the next day he calls me. He's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "Sorry, did you read my message?" I'm like, "Yeah, why aren't you here?" I'm like, "I don't have a way to get." Like I'm talking to him like this. I don't have a way to get to the unit because I don't have a car. And he's like, "Well, that doesn't mean you don't show up." I'm like, "Bro, how am I supposed to show up? I have no way to get there." Like in my head, like
fucking walking, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not fucking walking there, like
Take
like
a fucking Uber.
Yo, it's like that stuff that makes you like.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the psychological teardown, bro. That's the manipulation.
And then since I've been out of active duty at this point for like a year, I'm like, nah, bro. Like I slid right back in.
You know why he did that to you? Because somebody did that to him.
It's a
learned habit.
Rod,
you're not wrong. You know what?
Rod,
learned habit.
You know what? That's exactly. I believe that's true, man. You know, but you also got to remember too, or know, there's also just piece of shit people in this world, man, that are just out there to for some reason they have no reason behind it, but they just want to make your life miserable because they're miserable.
I know one. Yeah.
Like when I was in the Army, right? Like just when I was at Fort Carson in Colorado, I had this new sergeant come in, this new E5. Well, he wasn't new to the rank, but he was new to the unit, right?
Is this the guy you told me about that was with us?
Yeah, no, this was like, well, not with us, but it was with me at Carson. I think
he wasn't the one that was at Fort Hood, right?
Yeah, he was there.
That's the one yeah. All right, go ahead.
Different one.
Okay.
This dude, he got to the unit, and I think he was like maybe 24, 25, some young dude, right?
But he had a college degree, so that's why he came in at an E5.
I was going through a tough time. Like I had some issues going on.
That was a question.
Some marital issues.
Oh no! My bad, right? If you come into the Army with a degree and you don't want to become an officer, you just become a E4 specialist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he came in with a degree.
No, so he was already in the Army for a couple of years.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So he became a sergeant throughout his time, whatever he did, however.
Got it. He moved up, right?
Yeah, and he got to the unit, and then I was going through a pretty bad time. I was going through this whole, marital problems. I was confused. My mental health was declining. I wasn't really having a whole lot of help from my leadership at the time. I was getting declined a lot of schools and stuff like that, so I wasn't doing too well. And one morning, I was just kind of losing it, and I was like, I go to my NCO, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to kill myself today.
Wow.
And
just hit him
he
like
was
that.
like, and he was like, okay.
Did you actually feel like that, though? Like,
oh, yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
I did.
Wow.
And I told him, he brought me to the first sergeant's office. We went there, talked a little bit. He was like, whatever. I didn't do PT. And I came back out. As soon as I came back out, that same NCO, that same sergeant was like, you don't got to say you want to kill yourself just to get out of PT, And at that moment, I was like,
what shit?
Now I want to kill you.
But you know what, though? And this is what I've learned in life, and I understand where you're coming from. You can't take it personally because that guy is desensitized. He doesn't have the capacity. He doesn't have the emotional intelligence to be like, wow, this guy needs help. Or wow, this guy needs somebody to talk to. He didn't have that in him. It's not in him because maybe he didn't learn it, or maybe that's not how he was treated.
Right.
But you can't expect people to be it because they're not. Most people are not that way. It's abnormal to understand that people have emotions and feelings. Like that's not the norm. What he did was a normal response because that's what everyone does.
Right.
He made an assumption, and now he made an ass out of himself, and now he pissed you off.
Exactly. And see, I'm not like that. I'm more of after my experience, at least, I'm more of a understanding person when it comes to like the suicide thing in the military. I kind of understand more about it, and I feel it more. So now I get it, and I'm like, okay, this dude says he feels like this, so I'm gonna get serious. Because what if I had the opportunity? Because at the time I didn't have the opportunity. All the opportunities were taken away from me, luckily. But what if I had the opportunity to kill myself, and that same morning I did put a bullet in my head? Because I did at one point prior to that have a gun in my mouth, and I was like in tears. I was crying. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill myself. But But at the same time, I thought about my kids. And every time I thought about my kids, like right when I was about to pull the trigger, right when I put my finger on the trigger and started pulling it back, I was like, I got kids. And that's when I stopped. Because the gun that I have, you pull the trigger once, you pull, it does a click. And you pull the second time, it shoots. I pulled the one click, and I was like, all right. And I was like, fuck it. And then I just stopped. I was like, I got kids. I can't. So like the kids stop me every time. I don't want to like, leave them here like that. Yeah. But I was in some pretty bad times where I was just, I was ready, bro. I was ready to die.
So that's one thing. Like, that's a good segue, man. Like, for you, Nick.
Yeah.
What helped you when you were in those dark moments?
I mean, I've been right where you've been, bro.
Yeah, like I think we've all been in the same situation. Like, and you know what? Before I even go there, I feel like, and I may get in trouble for this, whatever. I feel like if women went through what we went through, what men go through, then this issue would be addressed more. But male mental health is not addressed that much.
We've been conditioned as men to just be. We've been conditioned to hide our emotions, get over it, keep it inside, bottle it up inside, whatever the phrase is or the analogy that people like to use. And that's just been passed on from generation to generation to generational trauma is really what it is. Yeah. That's really what it is. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
And that's why, and that's why, like when I told you, man, when I had that incident a couple months ago, man, I knew that drinking liquor opened that floodgate up because I was keeping it in.
So that's the key. The key to finding a solution is becoming aware. So now that you know it, like, and we talked about this on the phone because you called me about it. Yeah. Now that you know it, now you're aware. That's the first part. That's the first step. Now you decide whether or not you want to take action.
And that's what I did. Like I moderate, like you said, don't make a goal to, and it's for anybody.
Yeah, don't change who you are. That's the wrong message. Like you should never try to change who you are. Just be aware of who you are and try to find a different path. Yeah. Okay, I'm somebody who gets if I drink too much, I get a little fucking mouthy or whatever the fuck it is. Right. Well, then maybe you just have two less because you know that about yourself.
And that's exactly right. Yep.
And if you don't, well, then you chose not to, and get ready for whatever consequences that are, whatever repercussions come.
Right. So this is what I wanted to ask you. So what did you use to get out of that funk? And then what motivated you to want more out of your life from going from that kid that was 250, 260 to a dude who was ripped?
Yeah.
And well, you were a little bit more ripped back then. Like, but you're ripped. But you're confident. I remember one thing, and I remember when we hung out one time years ago. I was like, damn, this guy, like his self-esteem, his confidence is like, you're real timid. Because I remember, I'll tell the story.
Oh, even before I was in shape.
Yeah, I'm like, I remember me and you and Antoine went to the Cherry Hill Mall. We're like, yo, Nick, go talk to that girl.
Yeah.
And you were like,
you told me his fucking story. You're such a dick.
Don't forget.
No, you're gonna put
the story. I'm like, these fucking guys were just laughing at me. I don't even remember this at all.
Hey, I remember, like you were stumbling, and I'm like, those two females, like they were hot, bro. And I'm like, and you were, and they were talking to you, like, and you were like losing it. And I'm like, man, I gotta run in here and then save the day. But
wow,
and I did, but like.
And I did.
I had to pull a trump there, and I did. But anyway, but from that point to where you were at, even a year later in 2014, and then when I knew you 2015, and then when I went off to the Army, just seeing how you were carrying yourself and then seeing your videos, seeing a lot of stuff, like you changed. Your motivation changed, your confidence changed. So what advice can you give to somebody, again, how to get out of that mental funk, especially if you're a male? And how to motivate yourself and how to goal set or set goals.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't have, which you both had, was a family, like kids, like marriage, wife, kids, whatever you had. Like I didn't have that. So that was even more challenging because I had to find whys to keep going. Like I had to dig deep to keep going because I've been where you've both been. I mean, just to give you some context, a little background, I grew up in a household where I was mentally and physically abused every single day of my life, bro. From 5 years old to 17, every single day, bro. Child services in and out of my life 5-6 times. Child service, like, try to come and take the kids away. Yeah. They failed me. The system's completely failed. It's in fucking shambles. But I was physically and mentally abused by my mother's ex-husband now, stepfather at the time, brother of my, father of my brother and sister, my stepbrother and sister, who I love dearly, those kids, but he's the biggest piece of shit. And so like what Rod was saying, he's like, there's some people that are just pure evil. This guy's just literally pure evil, literally pure evil. And for no reason other than just wanting to see people in pain and see people suffer, he did what he did. And so, but if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I honestly don't, the only thing that I can to say or how I can justify why I kept going is God. And it just took me so long to realize it, bro. Like and you see my hat, Jesus is King. Like, and I got the cross on and I got the quote tattooed on me. And that quote says, God fights alongside his warriors through their toughest battles. Because that's the truth, bro. Like when I look back now, like I said, being 29 and sitting on the bed at 14 or 15, like I just want to kill myself. I don't want to keep doing this anymore. Like I don't want to be in pain anymore. And like if I ever did have a gun, I don't know to what extent it would have went. I truly don't. I truly don't. And thank God I never did. And I just felt like, and I still don't, like I'm still not even anywhere near my purpose, but I just always felt like there was something internally that told me it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Just keep going. And then like, even still when I was gaining weight and got kicked out of high school and was living in the hood with my sister for 8 months, sleeping on a floor in a house with black mold and roaches and strangers, people that I didn't know, we're hustling cigarettes at the front door. People called them Lucy's. I was living off East Federal in the city. That was a bad spot. I remember you telling me. Bad spot.
Right.
Yeah, it was not a good spot at all. So that was where I was out of high school with the weight, no car, like I said, working at Wawa, just no direction. And I still had something inside of me saying, just keep going, just keep going. And I chalked that up to the Holy Spirit. I sincerely chalked that up to the Holy Spirit because my story and the message that I have at the end of this all is going to help inspire and motivate other people. That's what I feel. And so the trajectory that I'm on now, and I just told you this a couple of days ago, and I thought I told you already, but I apologize that I didn't, but I'm now on the track to get my PhD in chiropractic. So I'm going to go get my doctorate in chiropractic. And there's a reason behind why I'm doing that specifically, but the grand scheme, the big picture is to help heal other people, to help them live pain-free, which is the exact opposite of how I grew up. I was in pain. I was hurting and suffering every single day, mentally and physically, bro. And now my purpose is to help heal and fix other people. Right. And I think that's why I kept going. I have no other reason, bro. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a marriage. Sometimes now when I get up at 5:30 in the morning for CrossFit, my motivation is like, obviously for myself, but like I want to be an example for my nephews. I want to be an example for my siblings. Like still even an outside, element. Like it's not something that's near and dear, like immediate to me. So I have to kind of find these things here and there. But it's not really motivation at this point. It's just discipline. Right. It's just discipline. You just get up and you just get after it. And God willing, like if I can get up every morning and use my body and use my mind and help inspire or help motivate or help uplift or just be an inspiration just by who I am, that's my purpose. That's my job. I'm cool with that. Like I'm grateful for everything, bro. I'm grateful for touch, sight, hearing, thinking, speaking, walking. We take all these little small things for granted. Yeah. And any day it can be stripped away from you.
Right. Facts. And you know what, man? Like I lost so many people. Just as when you say that, I lost so many friends since I left high school, man. And like that, you can lose your eyesight, you can lose your ability to walk, but you can still be alive. I know people who they're not in this realm anymore. You know what I mean? Right. So like I'm always, and I had to learn that the older I got, be thankful for what I got. I used to always want to chase better, never be satisfied. And it's okay to want that drive, but be grateful for what you got. I'm grateful for what I got. Like the military, I'm grateful that I went through that because a lot of people who you are. Right. I know a lot of people who are my age and older who never had nothing. And they had people depending on them and they never did nothing with their lives. And not all of it's their fault. They just didn't have that direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They didn't have nobody guiding them, or they didn't have a relationship with God. And God tried to have a relationship. He'll try to have a relationship with everybody if you let him in. But if you don't let him in, he's gonna be like, all right, cool.
Every day, bro. And it's so easy. And I was never like a religious person, bro. Like I was never religious. Like this was just like the last 2 or 3 years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
COVID happened and you have time to think and just kind of just figure out why what does everything mean and why it is all the way it is and what's my purpose. Like, my job's shut down, so I'm sitting at home. Who am I? Like, what am I here for? Like, I'm useless now.
Right,
I don't have a place to go every day and be something. So what am I?
Right.
And so you just start to think of like just all of these things, and we all, probably went down different rabbit holes, and you just learn new things and new information. And God has quite literally pulled me out of the bottom so many fucking times. I can't even describe. I mean, I've been deep, dark, like gone, like so much anxiety where I can't leave the house because I thought I was going to get hurt or like something bad was going to happen. Like things I've never told anybody that, like, bro, like deep, dark, like just like I get the evil overcoming me, like the devil just trying to just suck me in every fucking time, bro. And he'll do it even when you're on top. It's those little temptations. It's the go out and get drunk. It's the, do some drugs. It's have sex. It's watch porn. It's all these little things. And it's just like, oh, I'm just going to do it once. And it's like, that's how it starts, bro. Like that's the devil constantly working. God works hard. The devil's working just as hard every single day. I promise you that.
Right.
Every single day in every single way, bro. And I'm not perfect, bro. I've made a ton of mistakes. That's the whole point, though. Being a human, we're designed to make mistakes, or else we'd be God. God is perfect. God is the only one who doesn't make mistakes. And I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying it how I was taught and how I learned it. That's exactly what it is, bro. Go make a mistake, but repent for your sins, ask for forgiveness, and just restart. And you can do that every single day if you need to. You can wake up every single day and be like, please forgive me for my sins. I fucked up yesterday. I made a mistake. I want to do better today. And just keep restarting every single day.
Yep. Yeah, man. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. So, like, real quick, man, like, we got some time left. I want to pick your brain. I got to bring politics in this. I got to ask you. I got to ask
politics.
I thought
I got to ask you
when you came in here.
What?
I thought you had a MAGA hat on when you came in here. I was like, "Make America great again." And that's
close, right? Close. I got the red hat because it's catchy. So when people they're gonna want to look because it's controversial, and then they see Jesus is King. So more people are seeing this.
So, hey, what do you think? First of all, who I know you're behind Trump again. You want Trump again?
So you got Trump, you got DeSantis now, you got fucking Robert Kennedy Jr., which I like. I do like
RFK.
The only reason that I'm probably not so on the Trump boat anymore is because the media has spoiled who he is and what he stands for, what he represents. He's bad for the brand. He's bad for the brand now. People have dumped his name. They've drug him through the mud. They're trying to get him with this recent case with the girl that came out about the sexual may or may not have happened 30 years ago. And the media calls him a racist. So the Democratic Party or the people that tend to vote Democratic have a tendency of believing what the media tells them. And so the media just kind of distorted his name. So I don't know if I can get behind that. And honestly, for the record, and this is a recorded line, but I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat, bro. I'm a conservative libertarian. I'm fight for our freedoms and our rights and our liberties, and I believe in capitalism. I don't believe in socialism. I don't believe in free healthcare, like shit like that. Like I'm not. That's not where I'm at, bro. Like I'm all about getting up, grinding, getting after what you deserve. If you outwork the competition, you deserve the benefits of it. You deserve the rewards. So. But do what you want, like if everyone wants to, vote how you want. But I'm definitely not a Democrat, though. Absolutely fucking not.
Put that
no way.
Definitely not a Democrat. No,
definitely never gonna vote Democratic. No,
not this generation of Democrats. Not
this generation. If it changes, if it evolves,
maybe. But like for me, like I feel you about Trump, and I'm kind of still on the Trump train, but then I like my guy. A lot of people don't know him, Vivek Ramaswamy.
I followed him. He followed him.
Yeah, biotech guy, 37 years old. Made $600 million is in his bank account. Like this guy is like articulate. has great ideas for the future. Like, there's a lot I like about him. Young, conservative guy. Like, certain things I don't agree with him on because that's my libertarian side, and he's like very traditional conservative. But he embodies that MAGA, you know, that "Make America Great Again" mantra.
I love the mantra. Yeah,
he embodies that, and he always says, I can take that movement farther than Donald Trump can. And I always think about that because it goes back.
Is he like Indian? What's his nationality?
Yeah, he's Indian. He's
I like that too. It's like it's diverse.
He's diverse too. Young, diverse, you know.
Because everyone's now like, you can't be white today. Like, it seems like like you can't be a white male. You can't be a white male anymore.
Right, you can't.
So like, for them to put a white male up there as a president, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's just like, yeah, it's just like, I look at Vivek.
I don't give a fuck what color you are. If you're right for the job, go fucking do the job.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
I don't give a fuck.
But like, I look at Vivek and he's like, I'm like, man, like Donald Trump, I love him, and if he's the nominee, I'm gonna vote for him. But Donald Trump has this thing where I call it the Jersey effect. So I'll give you this is my whole thing I made up. Back in 2021, we had the gubernatorial election. What's number one people's issues in New Jersey? Property taxes. So
all that and a bunch of other shit, but yeah.
Right. So hold on real quick.
Gun laws.
Oh, my son, you want me to change? All right. Yeah.
Well,
so like,
podcast, little man.
I shut the door. So like in 2021, we had a gubernatorial election. The biggest issue in people's minds in Jersey, property taxes. Phil Murphy goes on. That's about maybe the summer 2021.
Education.
And education too. But property taxes is a big thing for people in Jersey.
Gun laws.
All right. But he was like, if taxes are your issue, hold on.
Drugs. Got it.
If taxes are your issue, Jersey's not your state. Basically, he's saying,
then,
I'm not lowering your taxes. There's 49 other states you can move to.
Just get the fuck out of there, right?
So, because the guy who was running, Jack Ciattarelli, Republican, he's talking about lowering property taxes, having a way to do it. But because he was associated with Trump, and he wasn't even a big Trumper, but he said, I don't know, he's kind of there with Trump. He got his endorsement. Because he was even associated with Donald Trump, people who said, oh, property taxes are my issue, and I need my property taxes lowered. I'm not going to vote for him. The guy's going to lower it because he likes Trump. I'm going to vote for the guy who's not going to lower it. And then I'm going to complain about it once he gets elected.
That's what happened. That's what happened. The media. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. But let me make this one point. Yeah, I get winded in my stuff, man. But like, I feel like there's like 5 to 10% of the population who will vote for Republican over Biden. They hate,
but not
Biden,
for Trump.
But they won't vote for Trump
because the media fucked that up. Because the media did that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's why
he's
I'm
done.
like,
He's spoiled. He's done. He's spoiled. I mean,
and it's not his fault.
Nah, it's not his fault.
He makes Biden so electable. When Biden, I think
it's a fucking disaster,
bro. He should get swept off the damn planet.
I honestly feel bad for Biden, bro. Like, I feel bad for him. He's an old man who has no idea what's going on.
But
they're jacking him up with drugs every morning, fucking whatever the fuck, horse tranquilizer, whatever the fuck they do, and antibiotics and just fucking ibuprofen, and he just walks around like a zombie, bro.
They're fucking.
He's a puppet. Yeah, he's a puppet.
Because you know why?
Any shots? He doesn't even know what fucking day it is.
You know what the alternative was in the Democratic primary in 2020? In 2020,
who was it?
Bernie Sanders, and I don't agree with Bernie Sanders at all. I don't.
But listen. Let me say something. He did a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he had some good points, bro. After hearing that podcast with Joe Rogan, I don't fully dislike Bernie Sanders.
No, I don't dislike Bernie. His points are good. His solutions are horrible.
Yeah, he didn't really it didn't make sense. Yeah.
The points that he brings up, the issues that he brings up, I agree. Yes, please bring them up. There's a problem. But his solutions don't make any sense because let's just be clear here. A lot of the problems that we have is because of government. But his solution is government.
As a government, right?
Yeah, you can't solve the problem of government with government. It doesn't work.
You can't solve the problem with the problem.
Right. You need to unleash
free healthcare.
It doesn't work.
Free healthcare is a fucking disaster. Go look at Canada.
Free college.
Right. Yeah. Who's gonna pay for it?
Ask Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
it's a disaster. Yeah, taxes are gonna go up. It's a disaster. It's not.
But yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know about Trump, man. Like I said, but yeah, like Bernie Sanders, he's a disaster, dude. Like as far as his like solutions. All these socialists, all these millennials who are embracing socialism.
Yeah,
for
the
what?
socialism is not it, man. It's just not where it's at.
You want to
And
hear
I don't know
something
why.
crazy?
Yeah.
2016, I was actually going for Bernie Sanders.
Were you?
Believe it or not.
Why?
I used to be a Democrat, dude. Yeah, I used to be a Democrat because I was retarded. I'll admit it. I was retarded.
Oh my gosh.
I
Bleep that out.
was at a point in my life where I was just, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
You know what it was, bro? Who were you around at that time? You were being influenced. You weren't thinking for yourself.
Honestly, no, not really influenced. Not by anybody. No, I was
No family, no nothing. Nobody was.
No, not at all. It was just, I was more of a pothead at the time.
Okay.
So I was like, if you're about making weed legal, man, I'm voting for you.
Fuck yeah,
So it's
dude.
like, whatever.
Even though the legalization of weed was the biggest extraction of money from people, it was nothing but a scheme to take money from people.
And it
That's all.
was to make you fucking smoke weed and sit at home all day and rely on the government some more.
But
Right.
Be high. Don't go to work. Sit home.
Right.
I realized, I was actually told something by somebody, right? Like when you're younger, you care about people, you want to help people, so you vote Democrat, right? As you get older, you grow, you learn things, you get, how
you
the
make
world really
money.
works.
You fucking want to buy a house and have property. You understand how shit works.
Exactly.
Right.
Then you're
you
like,
pay taxes.
okay, this is how life should be.
Right.
You get older, then you're like, all right, so maybe I'll vote a little bit more Republican. Maybe not fully Republican, but if you're an adult, just plain and simple, if you're an adult, you got a house, you're married, you got kids, you're responsible, you're gonna naturally want to vote or at least agree with a lot of Republican views because that's the way to go. Because think about it, Republicans lower taxes. They want to help the economy. They don't agree with free healthcare or free college. What's free college and free healthcare going to do? It's definitely going to raise taxes. It's gonna fuck us all, most definitely. In my
It's not going to be just the rich people.
it's got to come from somewhere because
Oh yeah, the
who's
poor
going
are
to
gonna
pay
get
these
poorer.
people? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yep.
No
So
middle
I
class.
feel
Middle
like
class gone.
as you get older, you just automatically agree with more
Yeah,
Republican.
but you say
views.
that, but there's a bunch of people that are older that still voted Democratic, bro.
Think about their lifestyles. Like the people that I know that are Democrats,
Yeah.
the people that I know now that they're my age or older, they vote Democrat, bro. I'm gonna be honest. The ones that I know are fucking losers. Losers. No
Yeah.
job, no hope for the future.
Yeah.
They
I
want
know-
free everything. They want food. They're
Yeah.
on food stamps. I mean, that's just their.
Or they have a victimhood mentality.
Or yeah, they have the victim. I'm a
want,
victim. Everybody, my pussy hurts. You know what I mean?
What's the word that starts with an R? They want restitution.
Reparation.
Reparation.
Where's
is
that
not-
gonna come from? Oh, no, what it's coming from? It's coming from the parking fees in Los Angeles.
Well, yeah,
Well, the word's coming from the fucking media saying you deserve reparation.
Oh,
Go
man.
get your reparation. The media is
Okay,
telling people how to think. Nobody knows how to think for themselves anymore.
And that's that, bro. You know the classic example of that, a great example of that.
It's
Anytime a cop kills somebody, and the media props it up, you see all these people coming out of the woodworks, bro. If you think, and any of you out here think that only white cops are killing people, killing black men specifically, you're out of your mind. If you think that's the case, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
you're out of your mind.
And I know that we've heard this
every day
story before, but what about black on black crime? That's a much higher death rate than white cop on black person crime.
It doesn't exist. That according to
talk about that though.
That's like a legit thing you can look up. It's like out there, right?
Well, it is. But when you bring this up, because they used to argue with a lot of black leftists, they will say, "Well, of course, there's no such thing as black on black crime." Well,
what does that mean, though? I don't understand.
Because they say every race kills themselves more than another race. I said yes. There is truth to that.
I see what you're saying. Well, there is kind of truth to that. Yeah,
there is truth to that. White people kill white people more. However, the number one cause of unnatural death amongst black men is another black man.
Oh,
that's in the white community and Hispanic community.
That's true.
You don't. Another Hispanic male or white male is not your lead cause of unnatural death.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I have a better chance of walking out this apartment right now and getting my ass beat and killed by some black guy than I do with a lightning bolt hitting me, or a terrorist attack, or a car accident. And we don't want to address it. Anytime in our community we bring up an issue, anytime an issue that's been brought up, that's a critique in our community, You all have all these black leftists that want to deny it. Oh, there's no such thing as black on black crime. There's no such thing as fatherless children in our community, even though it's at like 70% fatherless households.
Yeah.
Anytime there's an issue that's in my community, nobody wants to address it. They just want to ignore it. But we're the first ones to critique everybody else. We can't take it, but we can dish it.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in a black neighborhood, actually, Crump. I think I told you that before.
Yeah.
You know, back in Vegas, I grew up in the projects on the housing, housing assistance, the Section 8 type deal. That was my dad's, his little thing. He didn't really, don't get me wrong. Not a bad guy, not a bad person. He did the best that he could, at the time. But in his younger years, he didn't really do what was best. He didn't save money. He didn't buy property. He didn't do any of the things that he should have done. So in his older years, he kind of paid for it. He's suffering from it now. Mm-hmm. And so I grew up in the projects, all black community. I was the only Hispanic there. My neighbors were white, only white people there. We were the two out of place people in the whole community for a long time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, bro, I gotta say, I've seen black on black crime firsthand. And yeah, bro, it's every single night, a couple times a night, there's this black people killing each other over colors, bro. Blue, red, I'm a blood, I'm a crib. You fuck my girl, I fuck your girl. You shit like that. Like, come on, dude. Like over simple shit. Like how are you gonna kill some dude over a female? Like I had, my mom one time, she told me that. Because I had this one dude that I had knew of, that was this chick, right? And she was supposedly messing around with this dude. And my mom was like, maybe you should talk to him and see what she's telling him to see, like, she's telling you, different things and she's telling him and see what he's telling him the same thing that she's telling you. So I talked to him and I'm like, hey, what's homegirl telling you? She's like, oh, she told me you're talking shit. I'm like, she told me you're talking shit. He's like, well, I never started talking shit. I'm like, neither did I. So we got together, we united, like most people should, and we went up against her. We were like, "Hey, bitch, what the fuck? Why are you trying to get us to kill each other over some stupid shit?"
You want to know why? My boy, Darren told me this. You know Darren, Nick. My boy Darren told me this a long time ago. He said we were watching something, and he was like, "You know what? Women are dangerous."
Yes, they are.
Women are dangerous. Women are dangerous. Like legit,
people are dangerous, bro.
People are dangerous, but women, they have a different pull. If all three of us wanted the same woman, right?
They hold a lot of power,
and we may not fight each other or anything like that.
I agree with they hold a lot of power. Yeah.
They do, but we would go to like great lengths in our own way to try to get that woman if we had to. We would do so much.
It's easier for a woman to find a man than it is a man to find a woman.
Facts.
Undoubtedly.
Facts.
Any woman who says otherwise, it's just not true. Because
the ugliest woman,
the ugliest guy is not gonna, like, the ugliest girl is still gonna find a guy that's better looking than the ugliest guy.
Facts.
Like that ugly guy is just gonna be ugly and alone for his whole life.
Right.
That's just what no girl's gonna be like, oh, he's a really nice guy and he's super freaking ugly. Like, no, he's either gotta be a really nice guy or he has money.
Yep.
Or he has a huge cock.
Right.
That's it.
And they call that shallow.
But even then, she'll leave the guy with the huge cock that has less money for the guy that has a small cock with more money.
Right. And then it gets tricky. Now we're getting out to gray area. So you just got to be right in the middle. You just got to be average. Just be average in every category.
You hear that, Crump? You can't be average, Crump.
Yeah, just be average, Crump.
No, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Recording line.
I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let y'all.
This video is gonna come back in like 10 years and fucking get us in the ass for something.
Yeah, right.
Shit, right? Yeah. Like, look at this podcast from like 10 years ago. These three dudes right here talking all this.
Guys were saying all kinds of feminist shit or what? I don't even know. Racist
God,
shit.
It's so sexist, Islamophobic. Transphobic,
gender dysphoria.
This Hispanic dude said he's so
political.
Horrible. Oh yeah. So real quick, man. Real quick, and then I'm gonna let you go.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, real quick.
5:30 tomorrow. Getting after it.
Real quick.
Yeah.
CrossFit. Do you? I know you do it, but do you recommend it? Like that's something I'm looking into, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Okay.
CrossFit brought me back from the dead.
Okay.
Coming out of COVID, my body was really beat up. My shoulders, my knees, just from working out so hard for so many years. I mean, you saw I was big. I was benching like over 300 pounds. Like I was a big dude. And I never had a clue how strong I was. I never felt big enough. I never felt strong enough, which is just what you do. You get caught up in all of it. So I hurt my shoulders, I hurt my knees, all kinds of injuries. So I went into CrossFit. Coincidentally, it's attached to the chiropractor that I go to. So it's like the back of the building. So I was going to the chiropractor first because I went to PT before I went to the chiropractor for my shoulders, and it kind of helped, but So then somebody suggested that I met at the gym that I would have never worked at if I didn't quit the other job. So I met this guy at the gym. He introduced me to this chiropractor. This chiropractor introduced me to a trainer in the CrossFit gym. And she means way more to me than I think that she realizes. As one of the coaches at the gym, I'm not going to mention her name, but she literally has no idea. Like I was like, oh, I'm just never going to work out again. I'm either going to work out and blow out until a shoulder blows out, or I'm just never going to work out again. And I just kept showing up at the gym. So I just kept, one day my shoulders were going to come out. Like it was inevitable. Yeah. I like hit a ceiling. I couldn't lift more than a certain amount of weight because my shoulders would be in pain and they would flare up. It was real bad. A lot of anxiety, a lot of like mental, like grounding yourself. Like, okay, like something just flared up. Don't freaking lose your mind, you know? And so started from ground zero, started with no weight at all. Just started getting the movements down, worked on mobility, worked on stability, and then strength. And that's the order you should work on things. Mobility, get it moving. Stability, get it stable, and then strength, build the strength.
Okay.
And so those are the three foundations, just regarding fitness. But so she was super knowledgeable. And the one thing about CrossFit that I like most that also benefited me and would also benefit other people is that they modify and they can scale every workout. So each individual is working out to their level of intensity. So your level of intensity might be different than what mine is. We might be doing the same exercise, but I'm lifting more weights. Or you're not doing the same exercise because you have a limiting factor. You have a knee issue, so you can't squat. So you're doing something else that's modified so that you're still able to get the same intensity, the same stimulus from the workout as I am. Okay. You're just getting it on your level based on your injuries or your limitations. And then over time, consistency, discipline, just showing up, then you get the results because it's just like anything else. You just keep showing up. And it hurts at first, you know, you're using muscles that you hadn't used before, you know, and you get through the pain, but everything always heals. You just give it time, pray on it. You're not going to get hurt, but yeah, I would recommend CrossFit to everybody, bro. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And it switches up the routine. I mean, I was just a guy who went to the gym back in the day and was just doing strength training. Hypertrophy is what they call it. And you just stand still, look in the mirror and do curls and like triceps and fucking bench press. And you look at yourself every couple minutes, which is nice. But like there are no mirrors in a CrossFit gym. Okay. And everyone's doing the workout together at the same time. So you're all just dying together. So it's nice to be a part of the community of like everyone, the camaraderie. We're all in it together. No one's looking at themselves. No one's really like judging you like, oh, you're lifting that weight. Like we're all working as equally hard. And when you're done, you're high-fiving and you're laughing and you're like, you feel good. CrossFit is huge, bro. The community is so ew. And when I started, like I was doubting because people were like, "Oh, the community is the best part." The communities. I'm like, I'm not really here for community. I'm just here to get my shit right, my body right. And now I love the community. Yeah. Because it is, bro. Like it's exhausting getting up at 5:30 and you're sore as hell from the next day, but you get to the gym and you see the same people and they're like, "Yeah, I'm sore too, but we're about to get it in." Like they're just as equally beat up. Like. It's a common thing to be like, yeah, my back's blown out from yesterday, but it's just like, and it makes you feel good. You're like, all right, I'm not the only one. Like it's not just me. Right. And so, yeah, it's awesome, bro. CrossFit's for everybody. Okay. All right. For sure. And one of my goals, and so part of getting my doctorate, my PhD in chiropractic, I'm going to open up a chiropractic office of my own, in a couple years down the line. And I also want to run it the same style. So I want to have a CrossFit gym also attached and also run that. And a part of that is I'm going to go get CrossFit certified. So you take courses and actually get certified. but I know a lot of the information now. It's just I'm not officially certified, but
Okay.
so I'm doing culmination of things.
All right. Hey, Rob, you got anything before we let him go?
No, you kind of covered it all, man. I think you got it all down. See if I can think of anything. I mean, CrossFit. I agree with the CrossFit. I like CrossFit.
Oh, you do it?
CrossFit. I did it for a while, man. That's what got me in a really good shape. The COVID hit, and I was like, all right, I can't go to the gym. I can't lift weights, but I got parks. So I went to the park. I started doing a whole lot of I did squats. I did I did burpees.
Mm-hmm.
I did jump roping. I did push-ups, pull-ups, anything I could do. I started adding weight vests to it and doing the Murph type stuff, doing box jumps. Started just adding more and more stuff to it. But then I got bad knees because the Army. So
yeah,
he's got all bugged up. Now I can barely even squat halfway down without my knees killing.
You got to get in the gym, bro. You got to get with a trainer. There's an answer out there, bro. I promise you, there's an answer out there. God has an answer for you. You just got to find the right person. You got to find the solution. Like if I didn't go to the CrossFit gym, I wouldn't be where I am because I wouldn't have found the person who gave me the answers. My trainer. Like, bro, I have bad knees too. Like there was a point where I couldn't. I wasn't running at all. Like I wasn't running. I couldn't step up on a box. Like you can ask my I couldn't hang from a bar. Like I thought shit was gonna blow out. And so bro, you what you really need, Rod, is you really need to just surround yourself with community so that you don't feel like fuck, poor me, my fucking knees, I can't do it. Like I've been there. I know where you're at. You're like, my knees are hurt, whatever. Like I guess I just don't work out. Like, nah, fuck that. Don't take that as an answer. Get to the gym, get in a CrossFit box, get with a trainer who knows what they're doing, and you can get back moving again. And then it's just slowly but steady, bro. Like I started from the bottom. I was lifting the least amount of weights. Women were lifting way more weights than I was started with no weight on the bar, bro. Wow. And worked my way all the way up. I had no problem starting over again.
That's what I kind of started doing too. Like I started going to this new boxing gym. So I stopped going to the boxing gym for a while. I started going to this new place called KO Boxing, is what it's called.
I heard of it.
It's like
a franchise, I think.
Yeah, it's like a KO or not KO, Jesus. Boxing kind of CrossFit mix. Like you get a really intense workout and you box at the same time. So I started going there.
Cool.
And at home now I lift weights because I'm not running yet. I'm not at that point yet.
Yeah.
I do lift weights 2-3 times a week. And then I do my cardio now is boxing 2 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been getting into slowly. I took a little bit of a break from boxing because I've been, I had vacation this past week, all kinds of stuff, good Disneyland and kids. So I'm getting back into it tomorrow morning and into boxing again. But yeah, that's what I've been doing because for the longest time, I just kind of sat around and I was like, fuck it. Poor me. My life sucks. My knees
I've been there.
They're bad. I can't do it. I was just like, I don't know what to do. I was kind of losing hope for a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, bro. I was going off the deep end. I got you. I get it.
Yeah. And then on top of all the other stuff that was going on prior, I was just kind of like, I was going through it. Like I have the whole thing. When you were saying you got the anxiety going on and you weren't really feeling it.
Oh yeah, bro.
That broke completely. Every 5. So not now. A couple months ago, about 6 months ago, if you would have met me, I'd be freaking out like I'm gonna have a heart attack, bro. I gotta go. I'll be right back. I was
bro. I've been there, paranoid, felt like you smoked a bunch of weed and just freaking out without having smoked, without having done a drug and sitting there like, oh fuck, something's wrong.
Exactly. I'm sitting in the ER. I'm like, hey doc, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. My chest hurts.
I remember this guy was telling me, he would text me like, hey, Crow, I'm going to ER, man. I think I'm having a heart attack. Like.
Bro, I've almost been there. I'm too prideful to go to the ER, but I've had that thought I'm about to go to the ER, but I won't let myself go to the ER because then something in my mind goes, fuck it, I'm just gonna die right here. I'm not going to the
ER. Hey, be like that.
But that's so extreme. I'm so extreme.
The anxiety is real, bro. That's how I got after the first ER visit. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna have a heart attack and I'm just gonna die right here. It's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
You're not alone, bro. That's what I'm saying. Talk to God. I don't know if you're religious or not, but he's there. He's with you. Pray.
Oh, for sure. No, I believe that.
Ask him to take away your anxiety. Ask him to take away your pain, and he will, bro. And you got to believe it. If you believe it, every fucking I shouldn't be where I am, bro. I'm swinging on the bar. I'm doing kip and pull-ups. I don't know if you know what that is, but I'm deadlifting. I'm benching, virtually pain-free. I get aches and pains there, but bro, I was so down and out. Like if you talk to my trainer, she'd be like, "Oh, this dude was a disaster when he came in here." I had no movement, and I just kept going to the gym and just working out in pain. I was driving myself into the ground for sure.
But hey, man, hey, I appreciate you being on, brother. I appreciate you telling your story.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you really got me. Like, I wanted to ask you about the CrossFit because, like I said, I'm thinking about.
Yeah, bro.
I want to do some more research on it and see if it's good for me.
He might be 10 minutes late, but he'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, definitely, man.
Don't do too much research.
All right.
Yeah, don't do.
Sometimes you just gotta jump in, bro.
Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, no, bro, trust me. Like
do
there's
it.
things in my life, I did too much research, and I just was doing research, and I never did it because I was just researching constantly, and eventually there were certain things that I did in my life, especially the last like 2 years, where it's just like, you know what? I read page 1. All right, I'm not reading page 50. I'm just gonna do it and figure it out.
Exactly.
So,
check it out, bro. That's what you gotta do, bro. Like when I look into things too much, I spend so much time looking into
yourself
it.
out
I
of
never
it.
get around to doing it.
Yeah.
You just gotta say fuck it and jump into it and do it, bro. Just go for it.
Exactly. No, I know. But hey, Nick, man, I appreciate you being on the Rod and Crump show, man. Like,
I
this is
appreciate
one of the best shows we had, bro. I appreciate you willing to expose yourself and like that, your personal story, and
good.
like I really do appreciate you, man. I really do.